creatives, happy Thursday. I can't wait to show you what we're working on today. So staying within the seasonal theme, and we're on the end of September. I can't believe today is the last day. What did I say? September? Last day of August. Tomorrow will be the first day of September, and then we're on the last, what is it? September, October, November, December. Last 4 months of the year. It seems like 2023 has completely flown by. So I want to give you some housekeeping rules before we go ahead and get started. This one's going to be a fairly quick tutorial because you don't need to watch the repetitive steps, going over and over and over again. So I'm going to just walk you through the areas where I think you might be challenged, and then we'll put it all together, we'll assemble it. And so what we're making today is a dog lover's Halloween wreath, a paw print wreath. And I'm going to walk you through all the steps to put that together. So if you like this tutorial, and once you go out and get all your supplies and you're like, wow, what happened to that tutorial? Super simple, easy thing to do is click the share button. It saves this tutorial on your Facebook page, and that way you have it handy when you're ready to put together your own. Also, we are going to be, we are going to be going live again later today. I'm going to give you all a sneak peek into the Wreath of the Month group. So we are rebranding and relaunching that, and I'm going to cover all the details about that. And trust me, you're not going to want to miss out on that, because I think we will definitely, hopefully, be making that a better success than it has been in the past, especially because when we launched it, it was right in the middle of 2020 and COVID, and the supply chain issues were becoming a nightmare. And so for those of you who have always asked, hey, is there a kit available for that particular wreath? The answer to that question will be yes. So I'm super happy to share that with you. So don't forget, come back and join me at 4 p.m. Pacific, which is 6 p.m. for those of you in the Central Time Zone, 7 p.m. for those of you that are in the Eastern Time Zone. YouTube subscribers, guess what? You get to have a sneak peek at that too, because I'm going to go ahead and post that as a replay in my YouTube channel. So for those of you who don't know, I have a YouTube channel. So if you go to Cat's Creations Wreaths and subscribe, you'll always make sure that you have all of my public tutorials available for you. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead really quick and let me pull up my comments so I can see what kind of questions you guys are going to have. I'm also, hi Cheryl, hi Gail, hi Peggy. Hope you guys are all safe. Hopefully just an awful lot of rain down in Florida for my folks that are down in Florida dealing with the hurricane. Let's see. There we go. Hoping that it'll allow me to pin it today. It looks like it's going to work. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pivot you down. We're going to go ahead and get started. So here we go. Making sure you guys can see everything. So this one's super simple. So I'm always trying to find easy, simple ways to create an amazing product. And some of you may have caught this before, but we're going to be doing a paw print using, should have had the plain frame out so you can see what it looks like. Just plain. There we go. Okay, that's what happens when your wreath frames all decide to come off the hanger all at once. So we're going to be using a heart-shaped frame and 8-inch Dollar Tree rounds. Now the Dollar Tree sells the 8-inch rounds in a pair, so you get 2 for the $1.25, and then the heart-shaped wreath frames, you might have to order them because these generally come out around Valentine's Day. So I always say, if you like the frame and you want to be able to just, do different variations on this, there are so many different things that you can make with them. You can always go to Dollar Tree online and order them by the case. And depending upon what frame type there is, you could get 24 or 36 in a pack, and then you're pretty much set for the whole year. So we're going to be using both of these. And we're going to be wrapping them in the chunky style yarn. Now, you can use thin chunky, like, I'll try to find the end of this one. You can use a thin chunky like this. Move these out of the way. Or you can use a thicker one. It doesn't matter. The only difference you'll notice is that you'll have to wrap a little bit more with the thinner than with the thicker, because obviously the diameter on these are going to definitely, you're going to have to wrap about every 2 to 2.5 times to get one of these. So it just depends. If you don't have access to the thicker chunky, but you do to the thinner, then go ahead and get the smaller. You will only need 1 skein of chunky yarn. Now, I think, don't quote me on this, but a lot of the craft stores right now are having a sale on their yarn, so that's a perfect opportunity to pick those up. I generally, when I go to the craft store, will get one in beige, one in black, and one in white, and that usually sets me up for whatever designs I might have that require those too. Plus, you might have a client who asks you to make a brown one, a beige one, a black or a white one, depending upon what breed of dog they have. So, chunky style yarn, and then you're going to need 2 sets of the 2 8-inch rounds, so you need a grand total of 4. 1 heart-shaped wreath frame. And then the sign we're using today is going to be this 12.5 by 6-inch Happy Howl Oween sign. So we're definitely putting a spin on it. And once you create the wreath, here's the lovely thing about this, is you can switch it out for seasons, so that if the customer wants to change the sign and they want to change the regular bow, you can do that and have it like a year round. And then as the seasons switch, you can put your favorite dog themed seasonal sign on it. And then you can just make a super quick bow and switch those out. And then you still have the same wreath, which is always great for people who do pet rescues, veterinary services. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to be taking this one to our cat's local pet hospital, so that they can put that up, and then I will make sure I'm over there during the seasons and switching those out for them. So 1 wreath, multiple uses. All right, when you start your yarn, it's super simple. You are just going to, let me find, I have this one set aside. Where's our end? I kind of flicked it backwards. Here it is. It is right here. All right, anytime you want to make yourself readily available. There we go. Okay, you're just going to tie on. And I prefer to tie on to the crossbars so that they don't move around here. So I go down one side, go up the other. So I'm starting on one side of the crossbar. So I went down here, and then I'm coming up here. And you're just going to tie. You're just going to tie just like that. And then if you want, you can secure that with a little piece of glue. I don't even worry about the tail, because that's going to get wrapped as we're going around. And I'm just going to cut this so we have a shorter piece. You're going to simply just take this, and you are going to wrap all the way around your sign. So this is great for kids who want to help put together a really cool wreath, because the only step involved in glue is where you potentially start and where you end. So you will keep going until you completely cover these. And when they are done, they look like this. Now, black has a tendency of picking up every piece of non-black fabric, little specks of glitter, or especially when you go to glue and secure your ends, and I just, like, when I'm doing my ends, I will, when I'm on my last piece, I will tag glue right here. I'll just hold that up until it dries, and then we are done. So I try not to use too much glue on it because those glue threads will definitely show. But when you're putting your yarn on, you want to make sure, I don't know if you guys can see that right there. Here's my frame. You want to make sure that you are bunching this together enough to where you don't see your frame as you go through the wrapping process. So you want it completely covered. The better covered just makes for a better quality product. Okay, so you have your 4 ends done, right? So we have all 4 of those. So this is what they'll look like. And then we're going to do the heart shape piece. Same way, you're going to tie on wherever you want to start. Sometimes it's nice just to start right here where you have a straightaway. And then I've already done my heart shape. I've gone, I think I started it. Yeah, I went from here, went down, went up, went around, covered the section. And now this is the precarious part because you have a greater area here than you do here. And so what happens is when you're wrapping your yarn, especially if you're using the wider chunky yarn, which I did for the main paw pad, as you're wrapping, you have about 3 times as much that need to cover the top. And so if you keep going, it kind of like creates like an overly thick area in here. And I'm going to show you how you can achieve a better wrap without making it look too bulky. Because right here, obviously, you know, as you start to wrap, you're like about halfway through. You're pretty much over here in the middle, but maybe only here on the tall wrap. So let me show you what I meant. So let me get rid of the thinner piece. And I always cut my yarn down because I hate managing that big ball. So like I said, I started here. I just tied onto my section, wrapped all the way down, wrapped all the way up. And as you can see, I don't have a bulkiness in here, but I still have premium coverage at the top. So how did I do that? Super simple. Okay, so you can see right now I'm going into that section. I'm just finishing up the middle section here. So as I come around, I always like to throw my yarn in the center. As I come up, I'm going to go around. I'm going to go into the middle. I'm not going all the way down to the bottom to wrap. And I'm just going to loop one here, okay? And then as my yarn's coming back around, now I'm going to loop. And then I'm coming back up on the back side. I'm going to do that other loop. And then we're going back to the center. Oops, kind of got stuck on the other side. So back around. So we're kind of making a little extra loop right here at the top. So I'm always going under and then across. So it's kind of like looping it twice. Every time I come up to the top on that corner piece, that's exactly what I'm doing. So instead of going this way, I'm going around the frame, pushing it tight, going over. And as you can see, I'm pretty short right there, but I do have a little bit longer piece. So what I'm going to do right here, because this happens when you may realize you ran out of yarn, or when you cut, you didn't realize that you had cut too short of a piece. So not to worry. And I don't have that much to go, so I don't feel like we need quite all of that. So I'm going to go back around and we'll get to where our knot is, and that's okay. Just let that go. I like to tuck the ends in because those will all get wrapped under the underside of our frame. So back through. Okay, here's my other end. Just tucking that in. We're going back through. I want to make sure I'm not tying a knot. I've done that a couple times. Back up here, back through, squish it in. Back around. Going in. And as you can tell, we're starting to fill in that gap now. We'll go around one more time. Going up. So this is the only way you can get that to look nice and smooth and even on the corners, because you have way more coverage to deal with. And I've got one more section right in here. I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time just so I have a nice super snug piece in here. Okay, and then this is where I'm going to end. So I'm going to place just a touch of glue on the frame. I'm going to pull that over and pull that down. And then I'm going to go up and over. And I'm going to stretch this out so that we can tag that in the back. So I'm just going to separate. Go ahead and add a dab of glue there. I'm going to pull this nice and tight. See, I was telling you, everything just becomes a dust magnet. It's like wearing black pants everywhere you sit. You almost need to perpetually take a lint brush with you wherever you go. And then that little tail, I just take that and tuck that right to the inside. So there is our heart completely covered. We have our 4 8-inch rings covered. And so now we're going to assemble the paw print. What you will need is black zip ties. Or if you're doing yours in white, you're going to need white zip ties. If, let me see. If you're doing it, whatever color you have, you want to kind of keep your pipe cleaners and your zip ties as close to, hiding that aesthetics, the technical part of that, the mechanics. And this is what we're going to do. So we're going to take these 2 at the top. We're going to zip tie those together. And as you can see, this is going to form a perfect V right there, especially with the fact that we have all of our yarn. And we want them nice and tight, because if we don't, they're just going to flip like this back and forth. Now they're going to have a little bit of movement, but they won't be able to move all the way and flop. So we're going to do those 2. Then we're going to do the outside 2, and then we're going to secure those to the frame, so that, as you can see, if I spin this around, let go of that one, we have an adorable heart-shaped pad. So again, like I said, you're going to just, these 2 at the top will all be nice and tight. There we go, and that's what we're looking for. And then this is going to yield right now with the paws. Let's go ahead and measure that. So right to the end and out to this side, you're about 26.5 inches wide. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and see, making sure that I've got a good, we are 20 inches long. And believe it or not, this will fit on a storm door. So with a small bow and our sign, we are well under the 3-inch mark. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to focus on getting the 2 together, and then we're going to simply, because they create that little point, then we're going to add those together. So zip ties first. So I've got some black ones, and you want to get them together, and you're going to want to keep them as close as possible. So we're not just doing one zip tie, we're going to be putting one about here and one about there. Because if we just do one, these now become flip-floppy. So we want some security. So I'm going to flip them over to the back because we know right where our frame is. So that's going to make the process just so much easier. Tight. Nice and tight. Not too tight to where they start to bow, but tight enough that we're not going to have a rocking issue. So there's that one. And then wherever else you can keep them fairly close without, you know, readjusting them. I'm trying to get mine, there we go, to go up right in here. Nice and tight. Okay, so now we have our the two fastened together, and we're going to attach those right to our point. And like I said, we don't want to leave any gap. We want those nice and snug but flat because we want it to be able to fit flush on the door. So again, flipping it over, we're going to pull that nice and tight. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start up in here. There we go. Oop. Kind of helps, Cat, if you go where you're supposed to. Okay, nice and tight to the center. I'm going to put one in the center of each. And I'm lifting them up because remember we're flush. So there's one. We're going to do the same thing here. Okay. Lift it up. Nice and snug. Right now, this is what it does. So it flops because we haven't put the rest of the paws on, but it won't go any farther. Like I said, as we add more structure, more stability, it's probably going to lean just a little bit on the inward side, but it won't be an awful lot. Matter of fact, if we want to take care of that a little bit more, you can add another zip tie down here. Kind of like we did at the top. We add the two. And then we're going to do the same here. But you can still see it still wants to flop. You just want to make sure you're getting it through the loops on both sides. A little bit better. Again, once we get them all on, it's still going to lay nice and flush. Now, I prefer to add them to the outside pieces first. So I'm going to go this way. We're going to do these two together. But I need to make sure that I don't have them way up here, and then I'm trying to get them down together. I need to make sure that where I fasten them together, I can get the bottom piece to align. Okay. Right in there. And I'm going to go ahead and attach to the bottom. And then I'll fix the difference there. I just want to make sure that we are nice and snug. Remember, we want the rings up because they're going to lay flush on the back. We don't want them laying flush on the front. So there's that. So see what I'm saying? You have some movement, but it's not going to allow them to go all the way around. So we'll go ahead and add some additional support. And you can take your little ends and you can rotate those to the inside if you'd like, just to hide those, make the mechanics disappear a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and get it in here. I'm going to put one more down here. Okay. That is the limited movement. All it wants to do is lay flat. Like, once you put it flat on the door, it's obviously going to be nice and flush. But you just get a little bit of an arch. So we're going to go ahead and secure the last one on over here. And then, of course, before this ships out, you're going to want to make sure you take a nice lint brush to this and remove all the lint. And I swept my the mat, but literally it just picks up every little thing. It's like a lint magnet. Okay, so get your ones in place. Okay, anytime you want to poke. There we go. Pulling it up. And now we'll go ahead and solidify where they touch. Okay, go down. It just keeps wanting to go a place I don't want it to go. There we go. It keeps wanting to go and stay inside the frame and not come out the other side. And if you really want to get technical and cover every aspect, you can take those little pieces of yarn and you can cover those, but honestly, not required, not needed. So I'd like to at least put 2 on every one, especially the ones that are here, and add 3 to the outside ones. Oop, a little too far. There we go. Last one. Okay. They are all complete. So now we have, I'm going to make sure that that goes back to the outside. Sometimes you have to be careful when you spin them. You don't want them to come out the front. So there's our poppy paw print. And so now we're going to add our sign. And honestly, it depends on you as the designer. It'll also depend on the customer. I like my paw prints to be just slightly off. Sometimes I like them to just be, you know, tilted to the side, in which case I'm going to want to bring my sign up about like that. And then we're going to place our bow probably right over here in this paw print, because I still want to see the bottom and I still want to see the little toes. So with that, we are going to remove the twine on our sign. Again, I'm using black pipe cleaners, and because we're attaching sideways, it's going to be right in the center. So 2 right here in the center. I already have my business card attached. So we're going to use our staple gun. I'm going to go in a little bit further than I normally do. 1/4 inch staples right to our board. I'm going to give it a little twist. Do it on the opposite side. Right in the center. This way we can pull those through. But we're also hiding the pipe cleaner so we don't see that come through on the back. So that's why the black. But if you make sure that you switch these out for all your seasons, as long as your signs are roughly the same, you're just going to pull those right through and then go ahead and replace it with your new one. So these are going right through my puppy feet, little puppy feet right here. I'm just feeding them through like we did our zip ties. Give them a couple twists. Again, this will help create some more stability. This is going, it goes through the middle one and then through the end one together. Okay, got them back out. Nice and snug. If you want, you can use colored pipe cleaners so it's easier for a client to see that. But there so far is our Halloween. And now we're going to make our adorable bow for the holidays. So I still want to make it feel like it's a dog paw print. So we're going to do the paw print with the little film strip stripe. And then I think I wanted it to kind of come in with this orange and black. And I'm not sure how wide we want to go. We could also come in with a, we might do all 3. We're going to try that. So the first thing I want to do is determine, like I said, where are we going to place the bow? I kind of want to place it up in here, but I need it to be small because we don't want it to be super big with tails that are in the way of the sign. So if I'm attaching this up here, I want to make sure that my ribbon tails are not too far so that we're right about in this ballpark, which means it's going to be a very small tail. So I've got 5 inches. So I'm going to do dovetail inch first. So wired edges together, cut from the folded side to the wired point. We said right at 5 inches. And I'm going to do, let's see if we do a 6-inch loop. That's super cute. So another 6 inches. And then we need 5 inches for the tail. So right about here. Okay. So let me go ahead and get my tails down so that you're looking at something right about here. We could even do one at the oh, I like that one better. I think we're going to go here. I think we're going to do 2, not 3. Let me grab a pipe cleaner. And I'm just going to use my Bodabra to hold it. And then I'm going to walk you through what we did. So this is going in to hold. So I can dovetail my end. Just like that. We all have pets. Imagine this as a nice thank you gift for our pet doctors, our dog groomers, pet hospitals, a pet rescue, pet supply place where you buy all your supplies from. We're going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to show you exactly what we did. So we're dovetailing the end first, folding that in half. We're going to cut from the wired or the folded side down to the wired point. Destination is always the same. So I'm doing 5-inch tail. So I'm going to scrunch right here at my 5 inches. I'm going to relocate that back down and take a measurement from here to 6 inches, which will give me a 3-inch loop. Okay. I'll go ahead and do a twist, another 6 inches, add that back to the bundle, do another twist, and then we're going to measure out 5 inches. Just like that. That feels like way longer than 5 inches. It is a little bit. Okay. Sometimes I can get them done while I'm still holding it, like that. Okay. Then we can pair that together with the other one, just like that. Let's see if we need to introduce the black and orange. So I'm going to fold my pipe cleaner in half. I'm going to pick up both of those bow bundles, just like so. We're going to drop the pipe cleaner right in the center. Nice little twist. Okay. And then we can just kind of fluff our bows so that we have all of the colors represented. I'm going to take the orange one in here, bring it a little bit higher so we see all those colors. And I'm going to place it right here at the corner of my sign, going through my frames. I don't know why I do this every single time. I need to make sure my bow's in the right direction first, then stick it through. Pull that nice and tight. I'm going to realign that so it's right on the corner of my bow. You can add another one at the bottom if you'd like, but I love the way that looks. Just a nice little fluff. Just like that. What do you think? And this is what I was saying. It is super simple. We can put another one down here at the bottom if you want. You don't necessarily have to. It can just be something this simple, but it has a really powerful presence in a very simple design. And like I said, you could, if you wanted to, you know, find a pet Christmas sign, make a super cute little Christmas bow, and then as the seasons change, the client would just, let me flip this over so you can see. They're just going to remove the pipe cleaners, just untwist them and pull, and then go ahead and do the same for our signs. And then they can switch that out for any season that they would like. And then the wreath stays constant. They don't have to replace the wreath. And with us using the Chanel chunky yarn, this is made for inside only, which means you cannot put it outside in inclement weather, because once the yarn gets wet, it's going to sag and droop. So we want to make sure that if you're going to put it in between a storm door, you know, it's well protected, or you have a covered porch or a walkway or a patio to keep that protected. Or like I said, you can gift it to a pet hospital, a veterinarian, a dog groomer, and they can go ahead and, you know, put it inside the place of business where everyone can enjoy it. So I'm going to show you what this looks like if we hang it on the door. So I'm going to go ahead and pivot you up. Hello all. Okay, there's our full-size outdoor door. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one down, and we're going to go ahead and place this one up. So I'm just going to tuck my pipe cleaners for now. And like I said, I like mine hung at an angle. So I like it hung pretty much just like that. So that is it on a full-size door. If you wanted to place it on a door, like I said, you could. When we start adding additional bows, like maybe down here, the loops might get in the way of this, so it might block the sign, but you are welcome to add additional bows. Make bigger bows if you'd like. Like I said, there's just our little touch of our Halloween flare where we can still see our sign, still read everything on the sign. I'm going to go ahead and zoom you in so you can see that. I don't know why it just goes instantly big. Okay, give it just a second. It's going to go boom, right to big. Okay, so there you have it. There's an adorable wreath that you can, those are going to look great on your craft tables. You can have that set up on a wreath stand on your craft tables, whatever you would like. But don't forget, today is the final day that if you're thinking, hey, I've always thought about joining Kat's group, but I'm not 100% sure I'm going to like it. Is it too hard? Is it too complex? Today is the last day to do the trial. So you can try the membership for 2 weeks for $1. And if you decide you want to stay, you don't have to do anything. The system will automatically bill you on day 15, the normal monthly fee, until you decide to cancel. So if you're interested in doing that, go to catscreationsandmore.com. So today, August 31st, 2023, because I know I'm going to get people that will watch this sometime next week and want to take advantage of the offer. So it ends August 31st, 2023. And don't forget, come back later today at 4 Pacific, 6 Central, 7 Eastern time. We're going to show you what the Wreath of the Month group looks like and talk to you about exactly everything, all the perks and everything you get to take advantage of. So it will be in the public group, just like this one, and give you a sneak peek. So I hope you guys will join me then. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I hope to see you later. Bye for now.